You have changed. We all change. From the moment we are born, we change. We can think of it as growing in our physical bodies, but the only place where change really takes place and where it really matters is in our consciousness. Now, we will each do that differently in individual ways. And then we contribute to our lives depending on the way we choose to change. But there's also another part of that because it depends on when we're born, where we are, and what is occurring in our world because we're all affected because we're all energy. The world is energy. And then we also have to understand that we will have a very unique journey. It's not going to look like anyone else's. And sometimes that's really challenging because we're trying to hold on to this idea of who we are, who we're supposed to become, but we're seeing all these different examples. We're trying to figure out things and it becomes challenging because we also have to take into account that we have limitations and restrictions that only exist in our consciousness. It exists in our consciousness individually and it exists in our world collectively. And the reason I said you have changed is because that is the title of a message that I received on October 23rd of 2020. Now, I knew that at that time, many people probably would not be able to understand what that message said or what I was saying either. And I knew that a lot of people for the last several years have not understood what I was talking about, but now it's easier because we're seeing what's occurring in our world. Everything, as I said, that is happening, I've been speaking about, and it's why I changed my life to be able to offer what I know is going to help not only just myself, but our world, because again, that's what I care about. But I want you to see the message first, because this will make a lot more sense. And I'm recording this on the 22nd, but this message is on the 23rd, because this coming week, I want more people to really keep your energy high because we're going to see things that are going to be a little chaotic, going to look chaos, like chaos and all of that. But it's because we're trying to change. Each of us are changing to become more because it's within us. And think about this too, because when we have this idea, I thought about this earlier, that still small voice, many people have heard that term. But what that means is that we each have a conscience. And when we are quiet, we can hear that innate voice that's within each person that says, this is what I know I'm supposed to do. And then I know I have this internal sense, you might think of as your moral compass, where you know the difference between right and wrong. We don't always make those choices, but we do understand it. And then we have something called cause and effect, meaning that if we do something that isn't giving us the right result that we want to experience in our life, it'll show up as this effect. But the same thing occurs in our world. And this message was probably it was challenging when I received it because again, it's when I receive precognitive information, it's hard for others to accept that. But this was the message. You have changed. We gave Roger an incredibly long title for this message, but we think those simple words will capture the attention of many, for it has occurred for all. We are speaking of the restructuring of your world being led by the United States and manifesting and being felt internally by you all at this time. You each have been lying to yourselves in an attempt to stay where you are and not evolve, which in actuality you cannot accomplish. But what you have done is resisted your restructuring. There was a political debate in the United States last night, and the stark contrast that was exhibited has been embodied within you. The restructuring occurring is causing each of you individually and collectively to own every aspect of you, which cannot be accomplished through judgment. That is the definition of inclusion. When you notice how you have allowed yourself to believe lies you have told yourself, you may blame others when you were the one who withheld who you were and the power you hold. We will not explain more of that at this time, but your feminine nature will shift the world's balance, as we have said. You will nurture yourself more, which includes forgiving others who allowed you to see your truth. You will be fine. That last line was probably the most important. Forgive others who allowed you to see your truth. See, because we will have contrast, we will see others that we disagree with, but that awakens something within us to love ourselves more, to forgive ourselves. But we couldn't do that unless we had been given a choice, some contrast that we would look at, and it's in with each of us. And it was challenging for me to bring all this information forth, but I know now that I have to change because that's what's going to be needed in our world. We each have a divine plan. Mine was to live my life where I could receive this information and give it to others. That's how evolution works. I don't have all the answers because I still have more to do, but I have a whole lot of them, and this is why I am receiving those results from those who are in my program and doing the work. And that's the most fulfilling thing ever. I know that my life is going to make a difference in the world, and I'm going to leave a legacy that will be remembered because I'm leaving work that will cause others to actualize their authentic selves, to connect to their soul mission, to connect to their incredibly important purpose, to allow them to expand, to allow them to become abundant. Because when you connect those energies of who you are to your authentic self, which I know is in every single person, then things change. And then collectively we change our world. And it's difficult for us to understand that sometimes, but I'm saying that I know this because I've lived it. When I have moved through everything in my life that was so challenging, difficult, and horrible, and I come to this greater awareness where I can love others and not have the hatred and judgment and anger that I used to have, because I had it all as well. But this work that I do has allowed me to move through that. And that's why I'm devoting my life to giving this to others. And I'm already having these incredible results. So I am fulfilled. But I want you to understand, I'm saying this now because we will see things, and we've already seen so much, and we see horror going on in different places. Greg Braden I saw a video he put out saying there were 31 wars going on now. I haven't seen that many, but I don't know. But again, that is energy. The energy of light and love within you will change the world. That's how it happens, one person at a time, and you will be fine.